Well, hello scrappers, gold lovers. Welcome back to my channel. Mike here. Okay, it has been raining for 5 days straight. There's a couple inches of water around the base of my furnace here. I got my boots on. I had to wade out here to my work area. And there's more rain in the forecast. It's supposed to rain again this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow. So I want to get this smelting done. So the furnace is soaked. It's absolutely soaked. I have it burning on low right now just to try and dry it out. So it's not going to get really hot until it dries out. Got to evaporate all the moisture out of the Kea wool. So gonna let that burn for a while. And while that's burning, I'm gonna mix up another batch of material to smelt. And then hopefully the furnace will be dry enough that it'll get hot enough we can actually smelt it, okay? And it's probably going to burn up most of my tank of propane to dry out the furnace, but I have another tank. So hopefully I can finally get this smelting done. It hasn't been that long for you, but it's been interminable for me, the wait for the rain to quit. So, okay, let me get to mixing up some stuff to smelt. So with 5 days of rain, I've had plenty of time to think about what I want to do here, and I think my priorities have changed. I want to know whether there really is any significant amount of precious metals in sample B. I was most enthused about sample A because I could see that there's gold in there in sample A. But hey, I know there's gold in sample A. It's sample B is the one I don't know. And time is getting short before our next trip to Wyoming. So this rain delay hasn't helped. So I want to know if it's going to be worth my while to go back and collect more of sample B and bring it home on this next trip to Wyoming or not. So I'm going to do sample B first, just in case, you know, the weather closes in, which it did yesterday. It started out nice like today, but before noon the rain came in with a vengeance, and then it just rained the rest of the day. And I was actually out here, I was preheating the furnace like I am right now, but you know what? Mother Nature had other ideas. Alright, so I got 50 grams of Chapman flux, just like usual. I'm going to reuse this crucible that I used for sample B star. The crucible's still in pretty darn good shape. I don't see any problems with it. I mean, they don't last forever, these crucibles. Eventually it'll crack and everything will flood down to the bottom of the furnace, but it still looks really good. Let's see here. 20 grams of soda ash. Okay, and there'll be links to all this stuff in the description of the video, okay? So we got Chapman flux, we got soda ash. This is going to thin down the Chapman flux some. This seems to work pretty well for that. I need 10 grams of lead as a collector metal. Let's see what we got here. Oh, 9.96. How did I do that? That's close enough. Alright. 10 grams of lead. That in there. And then the rest of sample B. It's been roasted. So let me mix this all up really good. Yeah, back in that last video, my samples all got roasted. So this is ready to go once the furnace is ready to go, okay? And hopefully we can get this smelted today and maybe coupelled, and then I'll know whether sample B is worth pursuing, because I know I can get a lot more of it if there is anything really good in it. Okay, it's an easy drive from our Wyoming ranch. The vein is exposed nicely. I could hack, you know, a ton of this quartz out of there if I wanted to and bring it home. And but we want to see if it's worth the effort. Okay, So once the furnace is up to temp, we will get this a smelting. And then while we're waiting for the furnace to warm up, I'm gonna just get sample A ready to go too, so I can pop it right in. If I get the opportunity to do 2 smelts today, that'd be nice. Okay, so there's 50 grams of Chapman flux. Oh, 50.00. How did I do that? I'm just gonna dump it all in here and mix it all up. And then 20 grams of this soda ash. Scale's acting a little weird today. Surface might be a bit uneven. 20 grams soda ash. $7.85, not as good as the first time. 10.09, close enough. Okay. So there's sample A ready for smelting. So hopefully, like I say, we can get both of these done today. We'll see. Be nice to get them both smelted and compelled today. I don't know if the rains are going to hold off that long, but we'll do what we can. We'll make hay while the sun shines, as they say, because we haven't seen much sun in the last week. All right, the furnace has been pretty well preheated, I think. Hopefully I've driven off a lot of the moisture, and this thing will get up to temperature pretty quick. Melt that sample. My biggest challenge out here is going to be keeping everything out of the water. Everything's got to be dry for this. That's not going to be easy. But let's see what we can do. Okay, I got my second propane tank here because this one's almost empty. We may or may not get through melting this before I have to switch over. We'll see. Get this lid again. That started melting. Yeah, this may take a while to melt. I still got steam coming off of the furnace there, so I guess I didn't get it fully dry with my preheating. So that's going to limit how hot it gets until it's fully dry. As long as there's moisture in that kaolin wool, the thing's not going to get up to full temp. So, oh well, it's going to take as long as it takes. Just have to wait. Okay, I just had to swap out the propane tanks. That one over there is empty, so we're on the other tank now. I knew that was going to happen sooner or later. That tank was getting pretty low. So, okay, should have enough gas to get this melted and poured, and the next one melted and poured, and both of them compelled, hopefully, if the weather holds out. So, I don't know if that's showing up at all in there. Let me move this open. Maybe that'll help a little. This stuff's starting to boil. I'm going to have to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't boil over. I might have to turn the heat down in a hurry, uncover the hole, whatever, because it does have a tendency to boil over. There's a lot of outgassing early on with this stuff, but eventually, as I continue heating it, it'll stop outgassing, the stuff will stop boiling, it'll lay down nice and flat and glassy. That's my indication it's ready to pour. Whew, I gotta get out of the heat, it's hot over here. Okay, the liquid is really starting to calm down. The boiling has really subsided, it's just barely bubbling in there, it's getting good and hot. It's time to start preheating the cone mold. Get that good and hot, then we'll be about ready to pour. Warm these up too. Get the moisture out of everything. It's all wet. Don't want any steam explosions or cracked crucibles, so everything's got to be dry. Okay, everything is good and hot. Ooh, yeah, it's hot in there. Yeah, that comb mold. Whoa, that comb mold is hot. Wow. Okay. Ooh, can't reach across the furnace. Okay, tongs are hot. Let's see here. Peas. Okay. Get this poured. So I've repositioned stuff so hopefully you'll be able to see the slag cooling. Maybe. Looks like all the lead came out in one big blob. I don't know how well that's showing up down there. Probably not very well. The sun. Anyway, my thin slag is taking quite a while to solidify. That's good. That allows all the lead to accumulate in the bottom of the mold, hopefully. Had pretty good luck with that so far. I'm going to put this in the furnace for now. Let me look at the sky. We're still pretty clear, so got time for this to harden up, I think. And wait for it to harden up and dump out before doing the next batch. So let me get something to cover it for when the slag starts flying. As it will do, once it starts cooling, that slag will start breaking up and popping and flying all over the place. So that should keep it in the mold. Okay, we just gotta let that cool a little bit. Then I'll move it in front of the big fan and get it down to cool enough that we can dump it out. Okay, that cone mold is still really, really hot. I've got it in front of my big fan, so that should cool it down fairly quickly. So I should be able to dump it out pretty soon. I'm going to get the second batch, sample A, ready to go here, get it in the crucible. And I don't know if I want to get it melting yet, because the furnace is good and hot now. It may melt faster than this is ready to be dumped out. So I'll just wait a few more minutes and then I'll start it. Alright, sample B's had a few minutes to cool in front of the fan, so I think this will probably be ready after I dump out sample B. So let me get sample A going here. Go. Oops. Good and hot. Okay. Get that melting and we'll dump out sample B in a couple minutes. See what we got. Okay, sample A is starting to melt. This is good and cool. I'm surprised the slag did not all break up. That's kind of odd. Normally it just shatters and goes all over the place. That's the top of the pyramid right there. My hammer. There's my lead frill. That is some clean looking lead. That is awfully shiny. That is super shiny. Huh. I wonder if we got some silver in there. I don't know. To weigh that. Kind of hot. The slag isn't breaking up. Normally, whoa, it shatters like that all over the place. I'm not seeing any other lead in it. I'll have to weigh this and see how much of our lead we got back. Oh, it's starting to cloud up already, man. So yeah, a little over a gram lost again. That's per usual. I'm thinking it's from the oxidizing flux I'm using. It's probably oxidizing some of the lead oxide, which is getting incorporated in the slag. Now, the first video where I was doing my smelting practice has gone live, and I'm getting a lot of good advice from people on that. They're telling me I should just use straight borax, some of them, which, yeah, my rationale for using the Chapman flux was I was afraid that I wasn't getting a good enough roast on the sulfides in the stuff, and I wouldn't release all the gold, but I think I did get a pretty good roast. So in the future, I may change over to using just plain borax, and won't lose the lead that way, although I'm not sure that's a problem. And boy, that is a shiny piece of lead. I don't know if that's showing up on the video. Normally it is not that shiny. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, hopefully we'll get to Coupel that today. Let me go check on sample A over there. It might be about ready to boil over. Okay, sample A is coming along nicely. It is boiling pretty good. I just opened the vent hole some, cool it down a bit. I may have to turn the heat down if it gets much closer to the rim of the crucible. But yeah, this is coming right along. We should be ready to pour this in just a little while. Oh, I got distracted for a minute, and this came dangerously close. Dangerously close to boiling over. It's right up at the rim. I got the vent hole open again. I thought it was done because it had boiled up and then settled down. I closed the vent hole, heated up some more, and now it's boiled right up to the rim again. It seems to be slowing down, settling back down. I'm gonna leave the vent hole open for a while. It's gonna take longer to melt, or longer for the boiling to subside, but I don't want it to boil over. I don't want to lose my precious small sample of sample A. It was only a single rock after all. If you go back and watch those videos where I was crushing the rocks, you see I just had a single rock of sample A. It was a big rock, and it came from a very rich mine, but still, it was only a single rock. I gotta go back there and get some more of those. Yeah, it's starting to settle down. I'll leave it alone for a while. Okay, we are ready to pour sample A. I'll reposition the camera so you can get a better look at it this time. Okay, here we go. There was a slug of lead that came out. So somebody very helpfully told me if I flip it like that, the last little bit doesn't run down the side of the crucible. Thanks for that advice. Keep those comments and advice coming. Thank you. All right. Out here in the sun, it's really hard to see that that slag. Yeah, it's pretty much stopped glowing. You can't see it out here in the sun anymore anyway. Maybe someday I'll do some of this at night, and you'll be able to see a little better. Okay. that on top of there. We'll let it cool. It's not molten anymore, and it's cool enough to handle. I'll put it in front of the big fan again, and we should be able to dump that out in a little bit. It's getting pretty cloudy, but just maybe we can get some coupelling in today. We'll see. Alrighty, this has had plenty of time to cool down. Yeah, that slag's broken up a little more. That's more like what I'm used to seeing. That's weird. Let's see, where did my krill go? There it is. We'll give this a quick weigh too. Then we'll get to coupling today. Hopefully. The weather holds off. Alright, there it is. Slag off it. Let's give it a weigh. Okay, I'm set up for coupling. I have found that having the flame, a highly oxidizing flame coming down on the top of the couples works better than using the burner in the usual place on the furnace down at the bottom. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start the burner up and going to let everything get really good and hot, and then I'm going to open the ports on the side of the burner there and make the flame really oxidizing, and that will help oxidize away the lead much quicker. Okay, and what's going to happen is, as we're coupling here, the lead's going to melt and start oxidizing, the lead oxide or litharge. Once the couples get good and hot, these bone ash couples, what will happen is the liquid lead oxide will soak into them. It can soak into the pores on the couples, and as it soaks in, that makes room for more lead oxide to slough off of the lead and soak in, and so on and so forth. And pretty soon all the lead's gone, and all you're going to have is a bead of precious metal left, okay? Because the precious metal won't oxidize. So it won't oxidize, there won't be oxides to slough off and soak in. So we'll get rid of the lead. All we'll have is any precious metals that were left in the stuff I smelted. Now, so I can tell these two apart, I put a file mark on the edge of this one cupel, and that is sample B. This one over here is sample A. Okay, so let me get the fire started and get this party started, because the weather is going south quickly. The sun is still out, but there is rain nearby on the radar, and it's coming our way. Here we go. Fired up. Fire in the hole. So once everything gets good and hot, I'll open the ports and get a more oxidizing flame in there, and that will help burn off the lead a lot quicker. But that's going to take a few minutes. Okay, the lead's all melted, the couples are getting hot. I just opened up the ports on the burner down there so that we're getting more oxygen in there. So those puddles of lead should start reducing pretty quickly as they oxidize away. I can see a film oxide on them. It's like oil on water. And that oxide film is going to run off and soak into the couples. You can actually see a stain forming around the lead. That's oxide going into the couples. And that's going to continue until the lead's all burned away. And I'm going to back off because I don't want to breathe the lead vapors. I don't know if you're seeing how the lead's kind of bubbling. I can't really zoom in any further, and I don't want to get the camera any closer. It's hot as heck up here. But I think that's air escaping from the pores in the couples causing that. I probably should have preheated the couples first. In the future, I will do that. Preheat the couples, then add the lead to it, because the lead's spattering a little bit. I'm probably going to lose a little bit. Maybe not enough to make a difference, but maybe a little bit. So, in the future I will preheat the cupels. But the cupellation is going good. I can see the oxide sloughing off and soaking in. And the bubbling and boiling is settling down, so I think the cupels are about getting up to temperature. Okay, just gonna let it go, and I'm gonna retreat upwind. Yeah, I don't know how well that's showing up, but the beads and lead in there are getting smaller. It's only been a few minutes, so and the smaller they get, the quicker they will get smaller yet, because they have more surface area per unit mass. So this should be done pretty darn quickly, which is good. I think we'll beat the rain. Well, it's been a few more minutes. The beads are getting really small. Shouldn't be too much longer now. They'll be done. Oh, they're getting so tiny. So tiny. Almost done. Almost done. I gotta move that camera out of the heat here. It's bad. But I'll give you a look at it when they are done. Well, there they are. Our two tiny beads. And tiny is the word. My goodness. Okay, there really wasn't much metal in those samples. Now, I got A on the left over here, and B on the right. B is the one I was most curious about today, because I can get back there and get a lot more of sample B, but it doesn't look like it's worth it. I'll go back and look at the vein and see if I can find, you know, any really richly mineralized areas and bring that back. And try this again. What the heck? I'm going to improve my rock crushing techniques, so yeah, I can bring back another big sample, or a bigger sample of sample B, and try this again. Now this is sample A. Now to my eye, and you're going to take my word for it because it's not showing up on the viewfinder, it's probably not showing up on the video, this bead looks a little bit less silver and a little bit more goldish, which I'm not surprised about, because there was some flower gold in sample A. Every pan I did of sample A had a little bit of flower gold in it. So I know sample A has gold. I just didn't have enough of sample A to really do much with. I had one rock, okay? So I need to go back up there to that mine and see if I can find any more good samples of that stuff. And there's a couple of other mines in the general vicinity that were also pretty rich mines. I'll look around on their ore piles when I'm out west again. But, okay. So it looks like I've got smelting and compelling down pat. So I just need better samples, bigger samples. So that's what I'm going to work on, bigger samples. And I'll put the smelting and compelling stuff up on the shelf for now and get back to recovering gold from e-waste, which seems to be a lot easier and a lot more lucrative. And until I can get some better and richer samples of gold ore. But this has been a lot of fun. It's been a learning experience. I hope you folks got something out of it too. You know, if you found this at all interesting, educational, inspirational, whatever, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to see my future videos. There will be more of this stuff, but down the road a little bit. And more e-waste videos coming up. And check out my second channel, Electro Geek 64. Good stuff going on over there. Like, subscribe, and comment, please. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye.